All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some lessons learned that I had while making this 500 ounce, 500 milliliter, I forget exactly what it is, monster can holder. So, what I tried to do originally is I tried to go ahead and take two objects and merge them together in Tinkercad. Because for this can holder, I downloaded it off Thingiverse and just wanted to give it a nice 6.4 flare to it. So, if I go ahead and break apart this union in Tinkercad, then you can see that this is actually just an object down below that I can also make solid, or I can make it into a hole. So, oh no, I didn't want to make both of them into. There we go. So, what it looks like on the Fusion 360 side of the house is I literally just, there we go. I took an SVG of the elk that I already had around, but I didn't really like how this would all look teeny tiny on the holder, and I was like, huh, you know what? I could go ahead and just use the antlers for that. I tried to just make two lines between them. It wasn't centered. It didn't look all that good, so then I just went ahead and made an arch between the 2 points to just make those antlers. Now you go ahead and finish up that, you extrude it a little bit, and then you get two bodies that you can go ahead and export by going up to here, right-clicking, and then save as mesh. If you hit save as mesh, then you can save both of them as STLs in the exact same file. Otherwise, you would have to do them individually, and it would be hard to import and get them centered and everything else. So, that being said, I went ahead and threw that into Bruce's Slicer to go ahead and get some boys printed off, and because of the way that this would be designed, and there's no other good way to set them on any face, you have to use the bottom of this to set them down, and that means that you have all of these wonderful overhangs right here. So that would not be supported, this would not be supported, that would not be supported. So you'd be printing on thin air if you were to try to do any of those. So I went ahead and used my painting tool to go ahead and select those as the places that I wanted to go ahead and add supports to, went ahead and sliced it up, and this is what they look like on the other side. Now, because of the way that the slicer was working, you also have some supports on the inside. It's not very pretty, and whenever you actually get the physical objects on the other side, you end up realizing that just because of the limitations of the Ender 3, you will have quite a few areas that aren't fully supported. So whenever you break off the supports, you'll also break off these places that are hanging. So you'll have like whole chunks being ripped out from this. So that doesn't work. Gonna have to go another route. So the way that I found to do that is just go ahead and take whatever model that you've imported, and instead of selecting hole on it, go ahead and make it solid, doop doop, select both items, and then there should be an intersection point. So I have selected both items, I then go up here, and you have the union, which is just going to merge the two together so it's one STL. You have the bundle group, which is going to keep both as separate STLs, but you can move them around together. And then you have this wonderful intersect group, which is only going to keep whatever is the intersection point between the two of these. So if I was to make this STL in, okay, and hold on one sec. Yes, only what part intersects with them. Perfect. So if I was to make this in Fusion 360, I would be able to do an emboss feature like this on a curved surface pretty easily. However, since I downloaded that can off of Thingiverse, the only way that I'd be able to, well, to import things into Fusion 360, to import an STL into Fusion 360 to then be able to manipulate it is a long, convoluted process. You're much better off with curved surfaces to just go ahead and import your STLs into Thingiverse and then manipulate them off that. So if I get this intersection right here, and my objective is to just have an emboss feature so I don't have any of those stingy overhangs, then I can go ahead and take this, and I can go ahead and, do you have a move function behind you? Or do I just need to kind of, okay, there we go. So I don't want for you to move any on that axis, and I want you to move back. 3 seems like it's a bit much, because it's still going to have quite a bit of an overhang to compensate for. So I don't think that I want to move back. Oh yeah, it doesn't even touch whenever I use 3. So that right there is a massive problem. So I'm going to go ahead and move you forward. 0, and let's go ahead and say -2. Alright. Well, now it's touching, but it's still quite a bit of an overhang. So I'm thinking that 1 is going to be enough. And then -1. Enter. Yeah. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Okay. Actually, let's go ahead and move it back just the slightest bit. Maybe like 0 and then 0.5 there. Yeah, slightest bit forward. There we go. I like that. Okay, so now you have 2 separate bodies that I now need to go ahead and merge together. So shift, select both of them. I'm going to merge, union, and then I'm going to deselect, and now it's all one. I can no longer select this. So I'm going to go ahead and export this as an STL. And then let's go ahead and open up our Prusa slicer. Go ahead and get us back in body mode, and then move everything around, delete everything. Perfect, perfect. Should be able to open up that STL right now. Good, good. And now I can go ahead and just fill bed with instances. And, oh, whoops, hold on one sec. Looks like I have some problems with the geometry on it. So whenever this triangle shows up, that means that it sees some problems with your STL. It's always just good hygiene to right-click on this, and then it will just automatically repair it through its own inbuilt version of Mesh Mixer. It's freaking, or perhaps it's not Mesh Mixer. I forget exactly what the program is called, but it will just automatically fix the geometries. Very nice, very handy tool to have built in. Go ahead and select this, fill your body with, actually no, I just want to have 4. 4, automatically set the bed. Of course you would do it in the stupidest way possible. Go it up here. Yeah, that looks solid. Select everything. Drag it on down. Actually, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Okay. Nuke it. Nuke it. There we go. And then rotate you. And then there we go. There we go. Okay. That'll be a lot easier. And now I can go ahead and say I don't want any supports. I can slice this and with that little bit of an overhang, it's not going to have too much sag behind it, but I will get an embossment feature on this. So, perfect. Yeah, so that is how you can join STLs together in Tinkercad, and how you can go ahead and have an embossed feature made on a curved surface of an STL that you can make outside of Fusion 360. Thanks. Bye.